All right, let's dive into a story that's, well, it's ancient, and it's absolutely chilling. But this isn't your typical monster of the week tale. No, we're going to peel back the layers on the legend of the Wendigo. We'll see it for what it really is, a powerful allegory about a hunger so deep it can never, ever be filled.
So let me ask you this, and really let it sink in as we go. What if the ultimate victory was also the ultimate defeat? You know, what happens when you win, but in the process you lose absolutely everything that actually matters? That question, that's the twisted heart of the Wendigo story.
Okay, first up, a desperate bargain. The choice that consumes a soul. So picture this. It's a brutal, frozen winter. The world is just desolate. And in the middle of it all, there's a hunter. He's alone, he's starving, and he's about to make a choice that's going to do more than just save his life. It's going to shatter his very soul.
You see, before the monster ever appears, something has to break inside the man. There's this critical shift in his mind. He's got this intense will to power, right? This raw drive to survive no matter what. And it gets so strong that he stops seeing the people around him as family, as kin. They just become resources, things to be used. And that, right there, is the very first step onto a path you can't come back from.
And this leads us straight to a classic idea, the Faustian bargain. I mean, it's the ultimate deal with the devil, right? You trade something priceless, something you can't get back, like your soul, your humanity, for something you want right now, power, riches, or in this case, just plain survival. And believe me, the choice our hunter is about to make, it's a textbook Faustian bargain.
And then, he does it. He commits the ultimate taboo, cannibalism. By eating human flesh, he essentially seals a pact with these starving spirits out in the wild. And yeah, he survives the winter. He lives. But the man he used to be? He's gone. Wiped out. Replaced by something else.
So, he made it through. But you have to ask, at what cost? That brings us to our next part, the paradox of power. And this is where the truly messed up logic of the Wendigo's curse, this geometry of failure, really starts to show itself.
And look, for a minute, it seems like the deal paid off. He gets this monstrous power, becomes incredibly strong. But here's the kicker, the cruel twist in the contract. For every little bit of power he gets, his hunger just explodes. It's not just hunger, it's this endless, constantly growing curse of wanting more.
Okay, so this is the engine of the curse, the real nuts and bolts of it. The Wendigo eats, and its body grows. Simple enough. But the bigger it gets, the more food it needs. So literally, the act of eating just makes it hungrier. Think about that. Every single meal just makes the problem worse. It's not that he can't find satisfaction, it's that every bite he takes pushes satisfaction even further away. You can see it right here. It's this perfect, vicious cycle. Step 1, you consume a meal. Okay. Step 2, your body gets bigger. Which leads to step 3, your hunger grows right along with it. And that brings us to step 4, the need to eat becomes even more desperate than before. It's an inescapable loop, a spiral that only goes one way, down.
So here's the absolute heart of the paradox. Every time the Wendigo succeeds, every time it hunts down prey and eats, it's actually failing. It's just forging another link in the chain that's dragging it down. Every single win is really just a bigger, deeper defeat.
Now, a hunger like that, it doesn't stay personal. It can't be contained. Next up, devouring the world. This is where we see the curse spill out and become a nightmare for everyone and everything. And the escalation, wow, it's terrifying. It starts with what the stories call ideal prey, people with warm hearts. But that's just the beginning. Soon that's not enough. It devours everything in its path. Then it starts consuming the earth itself. And when that's gone, it consumes the mountains. The scale just keeps growing.
So, what's the end game here? What happens after you've eaten everything? Well, you've won, right? Total victory. You're the master of all you survey. Except, you're also totally, completely, utterly alone. It becomes the master of a kingdom of nothingness. That monstrous strength he wanted so badly, it's not a crown, it's a heavy chain, binding him to a world that he himself has ruined. He has absolute power over absolutely nothing.
And this is it, the final, horrifying act. When you've eaten the whole world and there is absolutely nothing left, where does that insatiable hunger go?
Well, the fire turns inward.
There's this quote that just nails the entire tragedy of the Wendigo. Like a man trying to stay warm by burning the very map he needs to find his way home, he enjoys a brief, blinding heat, but eventually finds himself in total darkness with no path left to follow. I mean, that's it, isn't it? For that quick fix, that immediate survival, he torched his own future. He burned the map.
So the world is gone, devoured. There's no more fuel for the fire. The mountains, the forests, the earth, it's all ash. But that hunger, that internal fire, oh, it's still there, and it's raging stronger than it ever has.
And so, with nothing else left to devour, it turns inward. This is the final horrifying paradox. The Wendigo starts to consume its own limbs. But as it eats itself, in some twisted mockery of its curse, it keeps growing even as it diminishes. The man isn't there anymore. He's just a hollow shell. And in the end, all that's left is an invisible, towering heat. Nothing but an insatiable void.
So that's where the story leaves us, with this incredibly haunting idea. The Wendigo is a warning, right? About a kind of hunger that, if you let it, will consume the world, then it will consume you, and then it will even consume itself. Which leaves us with one last chilling question to think about. When a void consumes itself, what remains?